Now, Christianity has its 13th apostle, a faithful witness to the love, mercy, and truth of Jesus Christ. How about you? Will you be the 13th apostle?
Where's the patient?
I hated to drag you out of bed at this time of night.
Let me go while there's still time.
You'll soon see why I did.
You tell these fools I'm not crazy. Make them listen to me before it's too late. I'll listen to you. Let him go. Who are you?
Yes, who are you? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the 13th Apostle, where we explore the good, the beautiful, and the true of the Catholic faith and the Catholic Church. This is Tom Caffrey with my co-host Dan Duddy. Hiya, Dan.
Hey, Tommy. How are you?
All right. Did you recognize either of those?
No,
clips?
I didn't. I thought it was you were going into Dr. Frankenstein. What was that? I'm sorry.
You're actually not far off when you say Dr. Frankenstein. It's great that you said that.
Was it? It's not. Is it the werewolf?
No, it's the Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, the Body Snatchers. That's right.
With starring Kevin McCarthy, and then the second one was from the movie High Plains Drifter with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Right? They don't know who he is, but he's depending on your perspective, he's either rendering justice or revenge on the locals who've been abusing some people.
Yeah, it was a cool movie.
So you saying Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein, is perfect because what are we talking about today, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Father, quote unquote, we got the scare quotes up. My fingers are up there, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Father Justin.
Yep.
Who's Father Justin, Dan?
That's a good question.
Who are you? That's right.
It's the beginning of something, and I don't believe that it's good. Artificial intelligence, Catholic Answers put this character up as a mouthpiece, a resource, or I don't know, a search engine. But to me, he's far more than that. It's pretty scary. But for Catholic Answers, you could go and post your answer to, I'll use the finger quotes, Father Justin. And he's a talking head that delivers answers back. And I find it to be alarming, and I'm disturbed by it. But I think we must say that he's been taken off the air. And the one thing that really annoys me is that is Father Justin. I have 4 priests in my family, and they were all ordained priests, obviously, through the wonderful sacrament of such. And here we have a AI talking head.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence, thank you. Referring to himself as, Father Justin.
You refer to he.
Well, what do you mean? Exactly.
I think he's as much of a he as Ken is with Barbie.
That's the insidious danger of this whole thing, and there's more to it. But what I was getting at, they laicized him. They said they laicized him, Tom, because there was so much controversy. They laicized an AI talking head. Listen to that.
Actually, man. I think that when I was looking at that information, some people were talking online about they had to laicize him, and the president was, he was trying to put a humorous, brave face on this. He said, well, we couldn't laicize him, but I know he's got a smile on his face when he's saying this, because Obviously, he was never ordained, but this was. They took a bold step forward. It was. We won't say it was quite like Frankenstein's monster, but in a way, since we don't know where AI is going, and with these quote-unquote robots,
chatbots, right? Chatbots.
Well, chatbot. I mean, chatbot is if they're chatting, yeah, but I mean they're going way beyond that. I mean, I remember, I think it was 2017. I first heard a story on the news, and I heard it multiple times, and I've referenced it. I have references even now to the Japanese introducing AI type of robots for caregivers, to work as caregivers.
Oh my gosh.
Because the people, Japan is an aging population, they're homogeneous, so they don't have a lot of virtually very little immigration. They've always, in their eyes, kept a pure race, and they're not having children. I mean, they're one of the lowest in the world in terms of reproducing. So they are having an aging population. The young are not enough young to, in other words, to not just take care of them, but in terms of paying into the system, so to speak, with their work. And so they introduced these robots to the point where, and I have this article, it's a little scary, it's from SBS News, sbs.com.au. The article is Love, Intimacy, and Companionship, A Tale of Robots in Japan.
Oh, gosh.
That's serious stuff. I mean, this is 2017, so now we're 7 years. This is 7 years old, and what they have now is way beyond what they had then. And they call them companion robots. I'm sorry to say that for a significant, well, anything more than anything, even one is significant, but where people are developing loving relationships with them, and I mean that in a filial standpoint, like a friendship standpoint, a child standpoint. It's like they are replacing either children that have moved away and maybe rarely visit them, or they didn't have children, and worst of all, in romantic ways.
Oh my goodness.
No question about it.
Wow. So that really is making matters worse for this, the case of the child or whomever, romantic ways, I'm assuming an older person. It's really dehumanizing the person who is in need, even more so. It's glazing the eyes over, glazing the soul over of the person, and I'm going to say dehumanizing again. It's an insidious thing where the bar moves slowly and without us even knowing it, that these things are happening. And I agree with you. You painted a picture there of what's going on in the background is an immense, probably an exponential immensity of what's coming toward us. Just the beginning. This is just a knock on the door. When you open the door, it's just, the floodgates are going to open. This is just going to pour in. And here we are. I'll go to my theology class where I teach, where I am trying to bring humanity into my classroom every day. There are block periods, so there's 80 minutes per block every day from bell to bell. And then here we are where my students, if they had a Catholic answer situation where they needed to go to apologetics, they would go to a robot for such. Fulton Sheen must be spinning in his grave, not rolling in his grave. He must be spinning in his grave as a media, who was more human than him, as a media type priest on the air, who was the most sought after TV show, was the best show on TV, right?
Yeah.
I think it was greater than Milton Berle, Mr. Television.
Yes.
And here we are now with a chatbot. Wow. Yeah.
Well, the other day, you said chatbot, the program, the application ChatGPT. It's all been in the news for, I don't know, whether a year now or something like that. I used it the other day as a test.
Yeah, me too. Go.
Summarize the New Testament.
Yeah, oh, man.
In 1 minute.
Yep.
Now, let's go back just for a moment, because what we're talking about with Father Justin, that was a robot, an AI bot developed by Catholic Answers. And, I mean, it was understandable in the sense that when they opened their Q&A section on their website, I don't know how long ago, it crashed. If not technically, I think it may have, technologically, I think it may have crashed, but it certainly crashed where they couldn't handle. They were just swamped with questions.
Yeah.
And, a handful of apologists, there's no way they could answer them. And so they, one thing led to another, and then there's a quote here by Chris Costello, the director of IT, Information Technology at Catholic Answers. We wanted to convey the spirit and nature of the responses users can expect, authoritative yet approachable, drawing from the deep well of Catholic tradition and teaching. We believe, Costello went on to say, that the presentation of Father Justin honors real-life priests and the role they play in people's lives, yet we are confident that our users will not mistake the AI for a human being. Well, I'm not sure who did the research on that, just from the standpoint of his last comment, they will not mistake the AI for a human being. After what I read, which was from 2017, about the Japanese, and it wouldn't be unique to the Japanese, where they start to develop there's an emotional attachment that starts to grow, especially if you're lonely, if you don't have anybody, right? So, they had to pull it, as you said, they had to take it down. In fact, I went to their website, because I think they were going to put up, I read where they were going to do just Justin, not Father Justin. And I think that was a fundamental error, and I think I and the audience could tell from how you opened up that this was a fundamental mistake of making it a priest.
Yeah, and the danger is, because you keep supporting it as well, I'm referring strictly to Father Justin, but what you're bringing into it with regards to how people can really become relatively attached in their own loneliness to these things. I mean, there are absolutely platonic affairs that take place online, and people never even met each other. We actually have a mutual friend who, right? Yeah, right. And let's not bring that up, but there it is. Like we saw that firsthand, right? We heard the stories, but and Father Justin he would refer to the person who was calling in or checking in as my child or my dear friend. You see the danger in that? So you have a character named Father Justin who's referring to you as my child and my dear friend. But what really interested me too, referring to the same article, was that OSV News, they were testing Father Justin, finger quotes again, and they were posing questions to him, and he would stutter on certain things, and he would say you instead of Eucharist, because of the technological faults in it. So here he was trying to say the word Eucharist, and he would say you, or commute, believe that, rather than communion. There's something sacrilegious about this. But that they would ask him if he could forgive sins, and he said, as a Catholic priest, I do have the authority to administer the sacrament of reconciliation, also known as confession. But this power to forgive sins, given to the apostles by Christ himself, has been passed down through the centuries to all ordained priests. So he's not saying, not me, I'm a chatbot, you got to go to the church. He's saying, as a Catholic priest, I do have the authority to administer the sacrament. So that's pretty scary. That's crossing lines, if you ask me.
Now, wait a second. You were commenting on the stuttering.
Yeah. What? And then I started?
No, I just was thinking.
Where are you going?
When you say yeah.
What?
I was just thinking, didn't you stammer the first time you saw Maura, the woman who ended up being your wife?
Yes. And then after I was married, I turned into a robot. Let's just turn the microphone off. I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to go to your house.
One of you's going to say to the other, "Who are you?"
Oh gosh, you're something else,
This is,
man.
you know,
Just when I think you're becoming a nice guy. Just when I thought it was safe to go back in the water.
Well, they've done this. They have bots, these robots, for these religious robots for Buddhist temples use them. I'm not aware of any Jewish synagogues that have them, but I do know that was there have been news stories about that, and the rabbi made the perfect point, and I heard a priest make this point. Anybody should make this point that the robot, the AI, Rabbi Justin, Rabbi Mordecai, couldn't take the place of the cleric because it's not a person, and therefore it has no soul. Mm. So, I mean, even if somebody was losing their mind and thinking, okay, well, we could, Father Justin could say Mass now, or I could confide, I could get. I mean, I don't know. Did you see anything in the news? Any of the reporting on this that anybody said to Father Justin, the bot, "Can you hear my confession?"
Well, yeah, I saw OSV asked him that if he could.
Oh,
and
I missed that.
What?
Okay, I misunderstood you. Okay.
No, here it is. OSV News. I'm going to continue on what I said before.
Okay, good.
I'm reading from that article. Asked directly if Father Justin could hear a confession and give absolution. And the character answered, quote, "This is disturbing. Listen, I'm sorry. I am sorry. But as much as I'd like to help, I'm unable to administer the sacrament of reconciliation through this medium. It's a sacrament that requires a personal encounter. I encourage you to seek out a local Catholic church and approach a priest there." He's not saying, he's saying, I just can't do it through this medium. You hear what I'm saying?
That's a great point.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to help, I'm unable to administer the sacrament of reconciliation through this medium. I am unable to. I mean, come on, give me a break. I mean, this is where this guy here, I'm saying this guy, I can't believe this. Where Father Justin's got to break in and say, "Hey, are you kidding me? I'm a chat bot."
I tell you, what one of the things that bothers me, and just listening to you say that, relate that information, is the first two words are right out of Exodus, on the sacred Mount Horeb with Moses in his encounter with God, with the burning bush. And who should I say, Moses says, who should I say sent me with this message?
Yeah.
And what does God say? I am.
I am.
Tell them I am sent you. And then when you look in John's Gospel, how does Jesus talk about himself, especially in the beginning? I am, in Greek, the ego eimi. That's so important, the I am. And you have, so that's the first thing. But then when the third word, sorry.
Yeah.
That robot doesn't have sorrow.
Yeah, exactly. How could that chatbot be sorry? This is my point. This is the scary part. And this is the beginning. At some point, people are going to look back to today, and they're going to say, remember the old days when all we had was that, Father Justin character? Where will they be? Where will my grandchildren be? And then he goes on. They asked, OSV News says to Father Justin, fingers up again, if it, thank God they said it, if it had received any disapproving or hateful feedback. And Father Justin says, as an AI, I don't receive mailer responses in the traditional sense. I'm here to provide information and guidance on the Catholic faith to the best of my ability. My goal is to foster understanding and blah, blah, blah. But here's the point. And he goes on to say, remember, as it says in the Gospel of Matthew, blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. This is the Father Justin character saying, yeah, he's received hurtful email, but remember, as it says in the Gospel, blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you. Like, this guy is a gosh darn blood, pumping heart, soul, one of the 12 apostles.
Yeah, he's so he's being blessed. Jesus, quote unquote, Jesus is blessing him with the beatitude.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh! Now, when they're making great advances in humanizing these robots, from their movements, their gestures, even the most subtle, just the way we would talk and just slightly move our head, move our hands, whatever, making a point with the arms, whatever, shifting the weight, the skin. They're refining silicone, which is the skin of these robots, to such a point that I've no doubt that it's going to be at least as soft as human skin.
Sure.
So once you get into touch,
oh my God. Probably body temperature, same body heat.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta, you may have to change the thermostat every once in a while, but
and if
seriously,
turn the temperature down on the feet really, really cold, so it'd be like Moore's feet.
It's impossible. We can't stop ourselves.
I know.
We're going from the sublime to the ridiculous.
I know. Such is life. That's what human is, bro.
Eggs. Danny?
Right.
You just nailed it. I can't imagine a bot responding so quickly as you did. This is, I can't imagine a bot being a man on the street like you are. I mean, seriously. But they are made in the U.S. Well, some of them, I don't know whether all of them are made in the U.S., but I don't know. Should we? Here's a question for your class. Should you close the factories and lay off these workers now that have jobs and benefits and have families, and they provide for their families by making these robots?
Yes, we should. We can easily. The Holy Spirit will easily, if we shut up and listen, easily give us another way to make things happen. Gladly, He will.
They're going to replace 50,000 truck drivers in the country.
Now you're going to start saying 50,000 and stuff?
No, 50,000. I mean, that's a figure that's been tossed around in articles where all the truck drivers that are going across the country to replace them with robots.
Yeah, well, you got to trust, you got to believe, you got to take risks, turn your life over for what's far better. Here we are in the classroom. Right now we're teaching fallibility versus infallibility, culpability versus exculpability, forgiveness and versus resentment, and facing our fears. And then I give them essay questions, and I know I'm getting some AI answers. Those are the things we're discussing. These are truly in depth into the recesses of our humanity. These types of things that I want these kids to understand: the fallibility of the man, the Pope, versus the infallibility of the discernment with the Holy Spirit. All these powerful things, and I'm getting essays back that I know do not come from them, and it's almost impossible to detect it. Yeah, from artificial intelligence, it's the antithesis of the heart and the soul and the depths of humanity. It's really scary.
Well, did anybody in high school refer to you as a Bomar brain?
What's that?
Oh, well, I
mean, that would have been one of the nicest things I heard. But anyway, what's the Bomar brain?
Well, in the I think 1970, I don't know, it was 75. The first electronic calculator, and it was by Bomar. The name of the corporation was Bomar, BOWMAR, and that was the first. And then, so one of the things, if people were coming across, I don't know, I never heard this in grammar school, but in high school, reference when they would refer to somebody who was super intelligent, but like a computer, a walking computer. He's a Bomar brain. She's a Bomar brain, BOWMAR. So I think that one of the questions, does the machine? I know I've seen this question online. Does the machine control the person and the religion? Well, and I was thinking, okay, well, at least the person's religious experience, because they're using them. I mean, there's a parish in Poland. There might be more that introduced what looks like a friar, some habit, some figure in a habit, and it was I think it was in the vestibule of the church. And so people, it's called Santo. S as in Sam, A-N as in Nancy, T as in Thomas, O, Santo. And the thinking was anything that brings you closer to God is a good thing. You know, France has Robo-Rabbi. And I'm making this up. Japan has Bomar Buddha. But I already said that the truth behind those robots in Buddha. And some of the older clergy were more accepting than the younger. And I'm thinking that, well, in America, one of the concerns of Pope Francis, but not just Pope Francis, is that a lot of the younger clergy coming to the seminaries are much more conservative. So maybe that's part of it. But you know, is it? Can you say, okay, if it brings me a religious experience, it helps me develop, and we got to wrap it up. But is it a good thing? I think.
Well, let's wrap it up. God is love. Love is God. God is love, and there's no love in any of this technology.
I love you, Danny. Do you love me? I hope the bot doesn't laugh in response to my question like you did.
Oh, I hope not too. That would be, oh my gosh. Then we're in deep trouble.
Oh gosh. All right, buddy. What's coming up next?
Stay tuned, folks, for the. I just talk like a robot now. Stay tuned, folks, for the Angelus. And I'm going to start changing this up.
Yeah, I know. You better. I was just thinking.
I'm going anti-robot now. Stay tuned, folks, for the Angelus. And love it, man. You're going to love it. No.
Beautiful.
And hang on there for our good friend who we love, Peter and Jemmy.
All right.
With your prayer intentions. All right.
Danny, Peter, all the crew, Marianne, Gene, James, Tom, WQPHradio.org. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your support. God bless you, Danny.
God bless you, Tommy, and God bless you all.
Thank you for listening to the 13th Apostle with Dan Duddy and Tom Caffrey. For more information on Dan, visit his website at www.danduddy.com or email dcduddy@gmail.com. Tom's website is faithpilgrims.com or email trcaffrey@faithpilgrims.com. How about you? Will you be the 13th Apostle?